Welcome everybody to the 2022 NBA Draft. The Detroit Pistons, Colin.
My team.
He is from Detroit, for those who don't know. It's your team, man.
Yeah,
you're on the board. Go ahead.
I'm surprised Jaden Ivey fell into the lap. I'm surprised Jaden Ivey fell into the Pistons' lap. I fully expect, and I think everyone expected them to have to trade up for this pick. Yesterday, they made the trade.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, they sent Jeremy Grant to the Portland Trailblazers for the 36th pick this year, and future picks. But it's interesting because they made that trade yesterday, not expecting this, I don't think, unless they did. And now you have the player that perfectly complements Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham for your backcourt. And as we talked about in our mock draft video, the Jaden Ivey Cade Cunningham combo, I think, is that you look at that backcourt and you say that is a backcourt of the future. You think that Jaden Ivey can develop into a star. Cade Cunningham, obviously, we know what he is and what he can develop into.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they don't draft him, I think it's a bad pick. I mean, at this point,
no Shaedon Sharpe.
No Shaedon Sharpe. I mean,
I agree.
I don't think Shaedon Sharpe's going to be a bad player. It's just there's a lot of question marks with a player who didn't play, and you know what Jaden Ivey is. And not only that, like you said, we feel like Shaedon Sharpe is more like a wing than he is a guard. And I think the Pistons need a guard, especially since Killian Hayes hasn't really worked out as the point guard necessarily.
That's true. If you draft Jaden Ivey, are you giving up on Killian Hayes?
Killian's been a bench player for a little while.
He's only 20 years old.
No, I know, but I'm saying like Cade's been ball handling most of the time. So you have Cade as your point guard.
And not for nothing, Jaden Ivey can play as the 2. He's kind of that combo guard. Obviously, you want his 3-point shooting to continue to improve. I'm not 100% sold on his 3-point shooting.
I agree.
But if that continues to improve, you have a 1-2 punch right there where you're like, I don't care who the point guard is.
Right. And not only
get the ball up the court and we can play.
And not only that, Jaden Ivey doesn't need to have a 3-point shot to play off ball. I mean, you can have him come off the screen and just run downhill off the catch, and there you go. I mean, that's some offense. So, Jaden Ivey's progress from his freshman year to sophomore year was a lot. Hopefully that continues for the Pistons. They're taking a little bit longer than the other teams though to pick. So
does that make you nervous?
No, I mean I trust Troy Weaver. Whatever pick he makes, because obviously he knows a lot more about these prospects than I do. I just think Jaden Ivey right now is the right pick. But yeah, if they get Shaedon Sharpe, that's fine too.
I wouldn't be mad at Shaedon Sharpe.
No, I wouldn't be mad at it.
It's a high upside pick.
I think the issue is that I don't know. I haven't been able to watch a lot of him, right? And that's the scary part from us, from my perspective, because I can't go to the draft combine or anything like that. So they've seen all that. It's between those two players, though.
I think so. I don't even know who else they could pick. Nick Mathurin? I don't think so.
That would be a bad pick in my opinion. I don't think Bennedict Mathurin's a bad player or will be a bad player. I just think you have the upside of Shaedon Sharpe, even of those two players, Jaden Ivey and Shaedon Sharpe. If you pass on that and you especially in this rebuild, then that's tough.
Yeah, I don't. Against Saddiq Bey, would you list him as a guard?
No, he's a forward.
Wing forward.
He plays 3 and 4 most of the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't list him as a guard.
No,
but you do have Isaiah Stewart. Obviously, they're hoping to sign DeAndre Ayton this year, so we'll see how that works out. I think it has to be Jaden Ivey at the end of the day. You build with that core right there: Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Saddiq Bey, DeAndre Ayton. You throw in there.
I mean, even Marvin Bagley. It's not like he's a bad player right now. Marvin Bagley. You have Isaiah Stewart. You have Killian Hayes. Obviously, all of them aren't going to be a part of the future, but you have pieces now that aren't a Luke Kennard, whatever, Reggie Jackson or whatever else it is.
Oh, Jaden Ivey's already crying. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So he knows.
Oh yeah, his mom's crying. I think his mom's holding it together.
Well, so Jaden Ivey, and I'm pretty sure I read this. He was a Pistons fan growing up.
He's from, where's he from? He's from Indiana.
I don't remember where he was from, but he was a Pistons fan growing up.
I don't remember where he's from. From somewhere in that.
Because I saw a tweet. It would be the storybook 30 for 30.
Here we go. Let's see who your boys take.
Pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Jaden Ivey.
That's the pick, baby.
There it is.
That's the pick. Yeah, he's second on my big board. Like, the upside is just so high for me. I think he has the possibility to be a two-way All-NBA type player. Obviously, the reason why he's not in those top tier for most people is because his floor is a lot lower. You have to buy into a lot of stuff. He has to develop things outside of athleticism.
I think defense he has to develop in that.
Defense, his shot,
has to show
his in-between game, and all of those things. So Pistons pick again in the second round, but we'll see if they have any more moves coming up.
Light on their story. Ivey was raised by his mom.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just cut it.
She's now the head coach.
Oh wait, Jamie's just messing.
So you want to change streams? Pressures.
I'll just.
Thing is,
just for me.
Making sure she captures every single moment of of her son having his moment.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to add, honestly, but I think. What's your opinion of this team defensively that it could be? Is Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey, are they capable of being plus defenders?
Cade Cunningham, I think, is already a plus defender.
Okay,
I think it's the team around him, obviously. Isaiah Stewart, you look at him, he's a high motor guy. Everyone on this team's a high motor guy. Killian Hayes, I think he has the possibility to be one of the best defenders on the team, if not already the best perimeter defender on this team. It's just offensively does he fit. So there's players on this team that will set the tone for a guy like Jaden Ivey. It's just you need to make sure that he develops into that player, because at the end of the day, if you want to be part of the backcourt of the future, he has to, like you said, get that three-point shot, get that in-between game, develop his playmaking skills more than it already is.
So fast. He's so good.
But watching him, I mean, you look at this and you're like, look, it's beaming with potential. But again, potential can only go so far. We've seen a lot of players, so
I look at them the similar way that I look at the Magic, kind of where they have all these pieces.
Yep.
And it's time to work. It's time to make this thing kind of go.
The issue is you can't come back in next year and have a top 5 pick unless you win the lottery. At this point, the Pistons have Cade Cunningham, you have Jaden Ivey, you have Killian Hayes. We already went all through the players.
Yes.
They have to do something with it now. You traded Jeremy Grant. You have up to $56 million or $56 million in cap space. Do something with it, and if you can't, then that's
no. You got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to make the playoffs. I think at this, exactly. I think at this point, you trade Jeremy Grant. You're going for a big player. You got your pick. There's no excuse now.
Nope, no excuses at all. So there you have it, Pistons fans. No other picks in the first round, right? Nope. So we appreciate y'all for joining us. Home run hit so far. We'll see how the rest of the draft goes. Maybe they trade back in, maybe they don't. But we appreciate y'all for joining us. We'll talk to you later. All right, Colin, your Detroit Pistons made some moves.
Look at my man Jaden Ivey, first of all.
Yeah, I know. What a guy. You received Jalen Duren.
Yep.
You sent Charlotte the Bucks 2025 first. Was that correct?
We sent yes. We don't have the 2025 Bucks pick anymore.
Okay.
It's
gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. You received Kimball Walker.
Yeah.
Who might be a buyout candidate. I don't know.
He's getting bought out.
Okay, well, there you go. So you basically received Jalen Duren for very little.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Troy Weaver did yesterday with the trade with Jeremy Grant. He said, okay, we have drafts or cap space. We need to have a little bit more. This is what he used it for, right? It's to get rid of Kimball. It's to take in draft capital, take in cap space and then get a player out of it. And he did that getting Jalen Duren. He was really high on him. I think he's the best center prospect in the draft. He's young, just under 19 years old. And, I mean, he has all the potential to be the next, like, Robert Williams type player that we see. I mean, we've seen athletic centers come into the league and just, be defensive monsters. And I think that's the potential that he has.
Yeah, I agree. And even with the league, why is Adam Silver so happy? Regardless, I think we've seen the stiff and unathletic bigs really get exposed in the league, whereas the athletic guys like Robert Williams and Jalen Duren will need to round out his defensive game a little
absolutely,
bit.
Yeah.
But he still is an incredible talent.
Yeah.
And I think from that perspective, when you add him to that front court, it gives you just another rim. It gives you a rim runner for Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. It gives you more diversity in there, where we love Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew, but it brings you a different element in a lot of ways.
And with the Pistons kind of going the direction where he's playing more of the 4 instead of the 5, I mean, they kind of were experimenting with that when Marvin Bagley was in. You have 2 lob threats now, Marvin Bagley and Jalen Duren. That's for Cade, that's for Jaden Ivey, that's for Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
You now have that guy that can be the lob threat. So.
I don't want to look too far ahead, but we don't do this like the whole entire offseason. What does that mean for DeAndre Ayton? Are you out of the DeAndre Ayton sweepstakes now?
I think so. I think that's fine.
I do.
I think that's perfectly fine, because we were shown that Marvin Bagley had the ability to be, live up to being actually, a top 5 pick. And then we still have Isaiah Stewart, and now we have Jalen Duren.
We still have cap space to
and we still have cap space to get a player. So it's not
looking good.
Yeah, Pistons are doing what they need to do, but as we said earlier, they need to put it all together and at least go for the play-in game.
For the playoffs, play-in, yes.
Let's say the play-in game.
Okay, all right. Let's lower the expectations.
Yeah, play-in game.
But we appreciate y'all for joining us, and we'll talk to y'all later.